love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just keep it up, don't crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. This, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop, just keep it up, don't stop.
Well, you tell me if I'm breaking up. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully the sound is clear. Leo, tell me, is the sound good? I'm not sure. Without you guys, I cannot know if everything is fine. Hopefully it is. Let's go over everything. If everything is good, hopefully. You're good right now. All right, let's try. If something will go wrong, hopefully I'll know about it. Hopefully I'll be informed. Until then, let's try running this. Hope you're all doing well. You're not breaking up. You're keeping your shit together. Oh, good. All right, gotcha. No, I never, I always keep my shit together. What do you mean? Always. All right, so let's talk about what's going on, how the market is behaving, what we should expect in the upcoming sessions, what are we seeing for today, what are we seeing for the upcoming sessions, as we said. Let's see what's going on with my regression. Why are they not on? Sure, why not? Cool. Let's go. All right. Let's see what we really get. Well, very steep, of course, breakdown we had with the gap. Now we're still kind of kissing and hugging that bottom of that channel, although not exactly, but I would argue that it's not that far off, at least on the 5 minutes. On the 30 minutes, we what are we really? We're more bearish than bullish. I think I warned about this, how we'll have that sort of retest at that 20 range potentially, then bringing us back into oversold territory. I think we spoke about this. Here it is on the 45 minutes. I think also mentioned that as well. So we're still kind of oversold, hugging and kissing the bottom of the current channel. You can see it, right? That is, come on, And the big one, thank you, appreciate it. We still have another low to test since we haven't yet met the bottom of the larger, wider channel on the 45. You can see it was highly respected and known about from before. Here it is. So we're kind of waiting to retest it here even lower, roughly around where we have a gap here, it seems, right, to close. We have a remnants of an interesting gap, which is sitting around 5346.52, pardon the noise in the background, 5377.48. That is what it appears to be. I'm not going to be surprised if we're first, as the momentum appears to be a lot more bearish, gonna visit this. And honestly, the further it's happening, the further sort of time takes, the more less likely it becomes that we will fully close or fill in this gap. It's slowly starting to get far enough that we're maybe able to penetrate it, then retest the median, but I'm kind of questioning where our ability to actually go to the ceiling of this channel right now, as we're still headed for the bottom, and potentially more slippage, retest of the bottom, and by the time we do, until then, we are kind of looking at the gap sitting at the edge of our average potential movement on, I would say, on the day range. Very bearish on the 1 hourly. You can see right there, very bearish, very distinct, oversold, bearish momentum, becoming even more oversold. We warned about this. Why? Because the larger print always is the one in control, right? Let's see what else we see on the 4 hours. Again, something I warned about. I told you guys that positivity, the temporarily was misleading. I told you it will flip around. It will look actually far worse very shortly. And temporarily what we're having is just this misleading action. I warned you all about this. You can watch the previous week's videos. In fact, the videos from several days ago. We see clear divergence here. Of course, bearish dominant, and so we can assess that based upon how things are looking as it is right now on the 4 hours, which is pretty much the same thing as looking at the daily chart, we're headed towards that bottom and that gap at the bottom of that channel. I would say 5346.90, not including slippage. So slippage would easily take you roughly to around, can we make it to, you know what, I'm going to be generous and I'm going to call it 5300. I'm going to be generous and I'm going to say we may end up visiting 5300. As it appears to be right now, we're extremely bearish, so don't be surprised. I gave you the handle of 5400 a while back, so don't complain. You know, if you didn't know or didn't adjust so far, you know, cry me a river. Leo, I love that. That's exactly how I, put the likes and stuff. So absolutely, yes, boys and girls, the like is free, I swear. If you're not going to like the like button, then Biden will come back into office. You know, now you have to. Is that what you want? Is that what you really want? Still very much something that I warned you about on the daily that is going to overturn. In fact, it happened far quicker than I expected. And we're continuing with the bearish trend on the daily. In fact, that was far shorter than I thought it would be. I warned you about this. I warned you it may end up being something akin to this. And I also warned that it may be something more akin to this or more something akin to these. So that's quite a normal process as we deteriorate, especially because fear is very, very powerful. But still, that was more rapid than I expected based upon the price action, how it was adjusted, and the momentum, how it was adjusted, the indicators last week, and so I gave it a little bit more credit than this. But as you can see, deteriorating at very rapid speed, in fact, far more likely to continue with this path, as you can see, again, very, very bearish. But we're going to say, well, is it going to be bearish from here on out? Because if it amplifies, of course, we should expect even a quicker movement downwards, and then no chance for that retest on the higher end of things. Right, let me just remove, it seems I left some noise here, unnecessary stuff. All right, what is this? We are extremely bearish on the weekly. Some will say, oh, Greg, that's wonderful. That means we're about to have our V-shaped recovery, like Tom Lee's saying, First of all, one thing we don't do here is we're not talking about the talking heads of the media. We don't give a shit what they're saying. They're always lying anyways and misleading you into their own agenda and whatnot. I mean, it's so nice to have your own head and the ability to analyze the market, not being sort of to rely on these bullshitters. No. You can just do your own analysis and come to your own conclusions, and they can go and tell stories to their grandkids. So what we see, well, Greg, it's so awesome. We are at the bottom of the channel. We have convergence here potentially, or is it really? Let's zoom in first of all before we make any assumptions about this. What we are actually seeing is we're having convergence here, but what we're seeing is that the dominant is, but really, you see, the dominant in this instance, and everything is perceived to the upside, and so we have to understand, but still, as it is positioned right now, currently the bearish momentum was actually the weaker. And so once it overtakes, we become even more bearish than we were. Although, again, hugging the bottom. And so once it becomes dominant, it's not about whether we're at a particular level. Of course, the lower we are, the heavier overselling sort of momentum you can identify, but really what you want to have is the bearish momentum as a dominant force. So it is a little bit weird right now that it's sort of hugging the bottom, but once we become just next session, just as we walk in, well, next session we're about to finish the week, but as we not walk into Monday, we're going to see that the bearish momentum overtakes pretty much everything we saw in the smaller time frames, and of course it will still be hugging the bottom right here at the 0 potentially ish, but what we will see is still a deterioration of the price action even furthermore, right? You need to understand, you see how tiny it is and how much we had to zoom in to see it, but that is still the fact of the matter. Now, monthly, do I really have to say anything? I mean, even a blind cucumber that is living under the sea can see that what's happening here is that we're very bearish, we're below the 50, divergence is very clear, rampantly accelerating to the bottom of the channel into oversold conditions, and so, yeah, we're just getting started, and I warned you about the levels, 53.99, we just had 53.99, you saw that, you saw 53.99, and so, as you can see, everything is kind of playing out as I predicted it to play out. I know it appears weird and you're like, well, Greg, what about these relief rallies and retests and all that? Well, we may actually still continue moving at this rate all the way to 52.06 and maybe even lower before we see any form of correction. My thesis currently as it stands is that whatever was ceiling right here will play the role of a floor of sorts. Of course, we will see some slippage towards the 52.06 itself. 52, in fact, probably is very probable, just flat 52. Let me just kind of add that so you don't say I didn't warn or show or some other weird thing. Boom. Let's put it there. Let's make it stand out from that yellow one. Burble, like a gerbil. You know gerbil is burble? Alright, cool. Now we have it there as well. And what that does, in essence, it doesn't really matter. What it means is this entire level is probably going to be very strong. I still do expect what was a ceiling here to play the role of the floor here before we continue. Could be the case again. Normally, since we're so far and since we're headed towards this, it's not going to be all that surprising if this will end up being the exact sort of thing that catches us. In fact, let me just clean this up so later people don't complain. So, Greg, we can't understand anything on the chart. So let's make cheeses, like Gouda and other tasty ones, like so. And let's lock it in so I don't move it about because I'm a moron. But you get the idea. In fact, let's just maybe do move it a little bit lower, sort of like this. That probably makes more sense because that seems to be the average of both three candlesticks, although it's probably going to be something. We'll see. Maybe I'm probably wrong. It's probably actually higher and it was better earlier. It's probably more like this. Like this. All right, cool. Sup, Mike. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Hope you're all having fun. Although I'm not sure how really, am I really giving you anything new that we haven't heard about or spoke about before. Lots of bearish momentum. It's going to be even worse than what it is right now. As you can see, I warned you all about this stuff prior to. It looks bad. Convergence on the half year. Of course, we still have 3 months to, well, 2.5 months, 3 months, screw that, to move about towards that convergence. Once it does, we will be having our movement towards that 48, 47, 49 range, 5,000 range. It's quite a wide range, but you can see it's already marked on the chart. But that's where we're headed to. We kind of spoke about all this stuff prior, so no new news for you boys and girls. Now, for us to be able to do this beautiful exercise that we've done yesterday, that I do on purpose, let's it's stocks time. Oh, next level is already in the schwung, I see. Boys and girls, put your tickers in. Today we're gonna have a proper full hour. As you can see, I'm fully energized, and we're gonna run through your assets that you want to see, give some analysis on them. We had amazing couple of meetings for the Patreon members on the Discord. It was absolutely awesome. Those who don't know and want to be in the know and basically be themselves the smart money, join us on patreon.com/investory. That will give you a key and ability to enter the Discord. The Discord looks like so. You will be able to join the many members that I just hid for their own safety and all that stuff. Here are some of the members we have in the community. This is where we hang out on the open forum. Here we will now have an archive of the meetings that we have. YouTube alerts is anything and everything. Of course, you can see there are some exclusive videos that are made, and will be many more videos for the community members. We have our main chat where we discuss anything and everything, from the end of the world, as you can see, to all sorts of other comments. 2nd of April. Very nice one, G. Very nice one. Not gonna dox ya, don't worry. We have a special niche for our members, which is managed by some of our admins, like Polinka here, and you can see Mama and Elrond, and they talk a lot about options, and Arnon is there. Basically, all the admins are having a blast. They're talking about options. I'm not a part of this, but I mean, you know, to each their own, right? You guys have your corner. Of course, the testimonials from people, students who finished the one-on-one academy, how it went for them, what they were able to get from it, you know, the experience and everything. All sorts of reviews from before, from brothers, from other mothers, awesome people. Some of them are right now here in the chat. The academy is currently absolutely 1000% full. So I'm sorry, you'll have to wait. If you want to book a spot, the only way to do it, of course, is prepay. You, of course, go through me in a one-on-one call. We do some Q&A, and then if you like it, we will then set you aside, so to speak, and then once the schedule frees up a little bit, you then can sign up. I see, okay, I got messages coming in, maybe not the perfect time, I'll have to get back to that. Here, of course, I notify and inform my members of my positions, various technical analysis strategies and tools, at least on the basic level. For those who are not in the academy, where we had the meeting yesterday, by the way, I'm sorry I haven't uploaded it yet. I will do so today. I will do my best to make sure I upload it in the best quality. Must watch all sorts of awesome things, and of course there is channels for discussions on all sorts of fun topics, and from the casual, ranging from the casual to technologies, finance, geopolitics and wars and such and stuff. And yeah, we post all sorts of awesome things and discuss them later if we feel like they're a good topic, right? Fat Electrician, you're an awesome YouTuber. Much love. Much love, you goddamn legend. Best channel on YouTube. One of my favorites. Watch it religiously. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Highly. Fat Electrician. We'll look it up on YouTube. Now, stocks. You guys and girls want me to look up at your stocks. Let's see what we got since NVIDIA. I saw NVIDIA. We'll get to it, of course. Do you really think something surprising will happen with NVIDIA that I have not predicted and told you about? Come on. Come on, Next. You should know by now. What is going on? Let's look at this. Let's look. Let's see. See these levels I warned about? You see them? Right? You see how distinct they are? The 110, See how well the market respects them. I have the 112, 118. See, the market is well aware, right? Yeah. And so check this out. Unsurprisingly so, kept on testing, right? And went up. We said another entire impulse that was just, screw the public, if you will, right? For people to get enticed. I warned about this being a bull trap. And now the people are fully loaded. It's back to roughly 100. What are we seeing on the analysis side of things? I mean, we know this will follow the indices, first of all. Greg! Screen. What, Greg? Wrong screen. Oh, shit, wrong screen. Wrong screen. Thank you. I love you, boys and girls. I love you. You're awesome. You're awesome. What would I do without you? What would I do without you? I would obviously not be singing because everybody die. Radio mode. It is from now radio mode. Well, that is it. Screen. Don't worry. I didn't what? I didn't show anything. You didn't miss anything. Chill out. Chill out. Calm down. Yeah, calm down. Calm down. Oh yeah, I'm a moron. I was showing Discord, right? I was showing this and I was like Discord and this channel and that channel and this channel and this stuff and that stuff and all of that stuff. And none of that was on the screen. So all that stuff that I was showing, here it is. It's all here. I promise it's all here. It's all here and really cool. And the meetings and the archive and the YouTube's alert and the schedule and the really cool stuff. That's the meeting schedule. We're going to try and have 2 meetings every week from now on out. We're going to try. I can't promise. No, not starting over. Hell, fuck that. We're just going to go to NVIDIA. But NVIDIA, so what I was showing, what I was saying is like, look, these levels, right? The same levels, the 110. Here we go back. Here, I'm going to show that. Of course, that is important. See the 115, the 118. You can see them again right there, right? This entire area. I've highlighted how many times we've tested this. Go away. You're in my way. How many times we've tested these levels, and then 115, and then that 112.95 thing. Of course, we had our 110 that the market acknowledged like a bajillion times, and it's psychological. There's not much we can do about that. The 124. Bottom line is you're familiar with the supports and resistances quite well. I mean, we kind of covered them to death at this point, so I mean, please. We're done with covering the supports and resistances. We do know that NVIDIA will be pretty much in line with the price action of the indices, and so this is not all that surprising. Exactly the same gap as we got there on the indices, SPX, NASDAQ, deterioration, same as the indices. But let's see what the momentum is showing for NVIDIA, because to be frank, we still imagine a bit of a pull up, which in this case is going to be back to 110, not that abnormal, part of the process, potentially testing a psychological 100, right, such as this, and then pushing back up, such as this, just to close this gap, right, and then go back down, and then go back up, and then go back down, and then get into the wedge, and then crack somewhere. Probably, maybe it's not even going to go that high. It's probably going to be like a lower thing. It's going to be like that, with some slippage, actually. That makes so much sense. It's going to be just like that. Oh, whoop. Please help Greg. Why do you need to help Greg? By leaving a like, it boosts his visibility on YouTube. I agree with Stonks there. Normally he gets things wrong, but tonight he's very right. No, I'm just kidding. He's absolutely right. Likes are absolutely, they're good. They help. They make the rain to be clearer, the water to be better, the air more breathable, and all that wonderful stuff. Definitely ring the bell, like the like. Make sure you do all that beautiful stuff. You boys and girls are awesome. All right. So NVIDIA. What you're stuck, basically. That's kind of my feeling, but let's confirm that with the momentum. Momentum is super bearish, just like it is on the indices, and so it's not all that surprising. Like we said, is first we test that 100 level, which is a very strong psychological level, drag our feet around that, if not even breaking below into that wedge. You see how I knew the slip? I just, Nostradamus. A regular Nostradamus, right? You see how it fits the narrative, the sentiment right there, what we're seeing. Let's see what is the bigger channel saying. Come on, where are you? Big channel, come on, show in. There you go. Oh, we're clearly out. Woo! How are we not yet readjusting? Not enough average. Right. So we're still going to start readjusting towards the downwards with a larger channel as well. Probably, given all that negative momentum. It's like it can do something else. We're completely out. Right? I mean, do I really have to highlight how out we are? I told you, boys and girls, many times, we do not stay in these channels into forever. If we're at the bottom and already having bearish momentum, then we just go down, right? Absolutely. So there's that. Okay. So NVIDIA, on the grand scheme of things, looks like it's more down, potentially some corrective movement, as we said, towards 110. 115 if you're like super lucky, but currently it appears to be so bearish that I can tell you that easily it can taste 95, somewhere around there. And at this rate, I'm not going to be surprised if Nvidia will go for a reverse split, which is such a bad thing. It's like one of the worst things they could do for themselves, right? I honestly tell you. So what can I say? I mean, things are not looking great for Nvidia. I hope they will be smart enough not to do a reverse split, because that's a bad thing. It always is a bad signal for investors and the market in general. It shows in most instances, unless it's called for and makes sense, otherwise it just represents weakness. And very bad after this row of, I mean, it's just going to be a bad decision. All in all, it's going to be a very all-around, very bad decision. What we are currently seeing is that the price action is deteriorating. It's not going to be all that surprising if we're gonna see a little bit of a retest, a little bit of a convergence divergence process once we hit around the 50 range, something akin to this before we continue. That's going to be very normal, but it's far in the future, so let's not rely on that, because objectively your current momentum is looking like a dumpster fire, and it's just about to become more bearish on the half year, and if things will continue deteriorating at this rate as we've seen them so far, and we are seeing that the market is cooking more bearish momentum on all the time frames pretty much, and if so, once it does, it will print over into the half year, and within 2 months and 27 days we will see how this becomes even more bearish and signals basically an duration of upwards of $40 easily towards the range of 60. Of course, we have a ton of supports and resistances that we'll be retesting, but I'm not going to be surprised if this neckline will be completed rather quickly, and then we'll do the shoulder and everything somewhere around the lower levels of 40, 50, break the arm into 30-ish area, and only then start climbing up. So those who don't know, I originally had a thesis towards 30, and it still stands, which was originally 300 before we made the split. And so right now, since it was 1 to 10, everything splits 1 to 10, and so now it's instead of 300 we are at 30. Okay, that is what we're looking at. We're looking at 30 to be our eventual target for Nvidia, but we have a long ways out to get there. That is that. Don't say I didn't warn you. Meta. Let's do Meta. Meta. I have a new keyboard. I hope you can hear, because I'm a moron, because I killed my previous one. Arthur, I love you so much, brother. I am so sorry and I apologize, but the keyboard you sent me, I killed because I'm a moron. And when you're a moron, things happen. Moronic things. You know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I spilled coffee over my keyboard, and it died. And I apologize. And I love you a lot. And I miss you, Arthur. Please, come back. Hang out with us more. I know you're busy. I know. What are we having? I know that looks like a hellscape for most of us. For me, it's pretty clear. I just kind of ignore the noise, if you will, which most of it is just saying what was saying that we're going to be retesting. There's the ceiling, blah, 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 deteriorating, breaking down. What the hell did I just do? Let me just remove some of that crap. But generally, you see, it was all pointing down within the framework of the channel. You know what? Let me just remove all that doodly-doo so I can work with a clean chart. Right, it's going to be easier for me because I kind of, yeah, it just looks like a mess. Go figure anything out in this. But you see, I mean, before I deleted, don't say I didn't, I'm doing something else or blah, blah, whatever. You can see it's mainly aimed at the bottom towards 482. That's the general direction within which we're moving. And let's see if I still think so. Let's see if that is still the thought. You see, again, I tend to stretch out things, but yeah, that was the target. Yeah, that was, you see, was that place. Everything happened as expected, blah, blah, blah. Now it's clean. Cool. What is this? This is X marks the spot kind of thing, I have a feeling. Yeah. Okay, so I have analysis for you, it turns out. So sooner or later, what we're about to hit is probably a range within this vicinity kind of thing, right? Whether this way, whatever. Ta, 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 and ta. And I, as always, stretch everything to death. But you get the idea. X marks the spot. Why do I think so? Let's see. Let's see. I have a feeling I kind of know what I'm doing when I was doing this thing. I have a feeling that what I was thinking about when I did this was first of all that you're bearish to all hell right here on the weekly. More so you're bearish to all hell right here on the daily, which means you at least have a couple more weeks, a week or so, I would say, from my standpoint, based upon how things are positioned right here, at least one more week of bearish momentum to the downside, which easily brings you to 512 to close that wonderful-ish gap that you have right there, right? Just kind of to close your gap and then easily test 500, right? You have 500 test. Right, 500 test. Yeah, we good. We're good. We're on the same page, brother. Yeah, there we go. Boom, done. Yeah. All right, that's meta for ya. Let's continue. Nike, I like you very much, but Nike, I warned you, is gonna be dropping lower. Here we go. Nike is dropping like a freaking rock. Nike will continue dropping like a rock later, which Nike, I like you very much, and I think I might be just jumping in soon. Nike, I like you enough to say that Nike will still be moving towards that 51.12, given that we broke that channel easily. Let me guess, the lower channel is going to be somewhere around there right now. Yep, just like I thought. There we go. Nike is going right here. Right here, X marks the spot. Right, you see, told ya. We knew about all the stuff. Here I'm remarking stuff I already have on the screen. Nike, I likey, and Nike, me bikey, right at 51. Do you think, if you think that the channel is going up, so now that's it, it's perfect, we're gonna buy and from to the moon, you're wrong. If anything, we can probably be deteriorating even lower just to retest this or even just do this all together. So Nike, be likey, also can be dropping to 30. So don't be rushing into this. Why are we saying this? Because Nike is still very much related to the market. And if the consumer is struggling to buy, even though consumer will be buying Nike because it's an everyman's shoe, it is still going down. Okay? Nike, be likey, but at a good price and not at a shitty price. Don't rush into this. We're not yet at the bottom, in my humble opinion. You do you. If you think we're already there, of course, do as you wish. I think that Nike will be far more likely at about 30 area, and so I'm waiting. I might start picking up soon, more like at the closer to the 40 range. Okay, I do, believe it or not, DCA as well. I don't just jump in full force. I kind of like spread my buying around, making sure. Because if I'm wrong and there's a lower low, then instead of buying here, I can be buying here, which will give me a better average on this area instead of the entire thing. I wait for the bottom to arrive and then I DCA at the bottom range. If the bottom is a range, I DCA inside the bottom, not throughout the entire process. Far smarter, saves you lots of money and buys you a lot more stock. More stock. Jesus, I can't write anything. I can draw stock, right? More stocks like that. Because I'm a moron, right? We want stonks like that. Now, that's it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Less noise. Less noise. Less noise. The CK. You didn't get it. Let's see. Stonks. Yes, buy more stonks. Let's see. Where? Coda. Why did you delete? No. Why you don't need to delete Palantir? Coda, you do need to start putting a star in front of your assets we want to look at. Otherwise, I will be ignoring them. Let's check this out. You cut. Wow, that looks like a real hellscape. I know. I'm sorry. I mean, before I delete it all, how accurate was I? We're on the way down. I mean, pretty much. Here's that blue line saying, we're gonna be like all that downwards trend. I mean, generally speaking, yeah. We hit the ceiling, and now we're going down. Let's see if I can delete this without deleting too much. Yeah, just kinda. Actually, not bad. I mean, here it is, moving up, then down. Yeah, just kinda. You get the idea. Are we still moving down? Let's see. Are we testing that range? What are we doing? We really are, if anything, I would argue that I got it wrong. And if anything, far more accurately, it's a flag formation, right? And we're actually been moving. So here's your pole. Here's your like this, and here's like that. What is this? Stop annoying me. And so like so, and so we're moving in this, and it's not gonna be weird if we're gonna end up doing that eventually. But before we do just, decide on that, and get to see what it says. It says more downwards. And I agree with it, because what it's doing is, again, is that head and shoulders thing that we're seeing here that makes total sense. You can kind of see it, right? In all the noise that I have on the screen. Yeah. It's kind of like that. And so what we're doing here is a form of a head and shoulders. And I wonder, though, whether it's going to be just a singular impulse or we're going to have a couple of them. And it's this kind of thing. Right? Potentially like so. Although right now, technically, it's moving downwards. It's moving probably, I would argue, to the bottom towards 70 handle. It's holding up fairly well. I mean, I told you guys that Palantir will be holding rather well, and this is rather well compared to the rest of the market. If you objectively look at what the market is doing, it's holding up fairly well. I told you it will. And I love Palantir, and I think Palantir will be doing great, but not before it's going to break down with the rest of the market. It's just something that has nothing to do with Palantir, Alex Karp, Sham, nothing. It has nothing to do with them. They're amazing. The company is amazing. The company is necessary, and what Palantir is about to offer to the world is grand. I mean, think about it. Combining all the data to become more efficient, it's something we need everywhere. In the companies that make your toasters, in the company that makes your cars, in the services that you get, it's something that can make everything better in your life. Why not? So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Palantir will become an inevitable staple of everything at some point, or whether they will be permitted, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's not a compromising issue, that the fact that they work with the government, in fact, it's a huge plus. And they work with the partners of the government, and subsequently they have, like they're well known for their efficiency. And so Palantir is going to be doing wonderful. It's going to sip into every, sector and everything and everywhere in our life. But before it does that, it will go through exactly the same turbulence and the same problems that the rest of the market will. That's just the reality. 3 months. I mean, those of you who understand what's going on here, the fact that the data starts from the top is just horrible. And those who want to know, 20 guys, 20. I know it sounds insane, right? For some of you who struggle to believe that, cool, take it as a 40, doesn't matter. But we're talking about fucking $20 Palantir stock. Why? Because, and of course, with the cycle, with the market, and it has nothing to do with how great Palantir or how bad Palantir is. And again, like I said, they're great. They're inevitable and necessary. And still, the market is strong enough to drown this stock very low. That's kind of it about Palantir. I'm sorry to say. I mean, again, I wish them the best, and I hope that they will survive this, and I believe they will. I have no doubt about this, if you will. But we have to be realistic about the stock price that is up to come based upon what is happening with the market and is about to happen with the market. So generally lower, whether it's on the current exit or the very next one. If I have to be a gambling man, I would say probably on the next one. It's probably not going to be this one. Palantir will probably hold well enough and will still correct from that bottom at least one more time, whether it's towards the median and then break down. I would argue that Palantir is going to be holding up far better than the rest of them, to be frank. That is the reality about Palantir, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Guys, you put a star before the ticker, otherwise I ignore it altogether. Ain't it? That's the final time. Last time what is just going on? What just happened? What did it just do? Did I just, oh man, that new keyboard, it's not set up yet, and so it's doing crazy things. It's not. Just close this, close that, and done. Cool. So, ain't it? Right. Haven't we just looked at this the other day? Or am I wrong? Squeezing it. Ooh, like the rest of them. Literally like the rest of them. Woof, 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 woof. It will be going to that 60 range. I'm telling ya. That will definitely 60, and I'm first of all, it's probably sitting on your golden pocket right there. So I would argue you have a resist. Okay, so you have a level here, ish. It's like so. Just so you can see this well, and your actual support is going to be that 54, and so you're there and probably here and there and then eventually there, but still that looks like you're just there, I gotta tell you. Which could be the case. I'm not gonna be surprised. What will happen is instead you have here a form of a floor, and what will happen is this sort of thing. So not gonna be surprised. I mean, objectively, you're far more bearish than you are. You don't have any bullish momentum. In fact, you're just potentially gonna have some in the future. Right now, everything you have is bearish. Everything. And you have a gap there on ANET at 65 to 67. So if I would be a gambling man, the market is rushing to close that. Magnetized to all hell. And you have 70. In fact, I should be correlating it to this, no, 70 is lower, 70 is like here. It's probably separate. No, that probably is still somewhere around there. In fact, yeah, here it is. That is there. And you have 70 on top of everything. Like so. No, it's gonna. So, whatever. Okay, cool. Well, no. Why am I doing that? I should be doing that. And I should be doing that. Later, I'm not gonna be. Okay, cool. Stands out, you can see it. Perfect. Perfect. Although, again, objectively looking at this, it looks a lot more like what I said here, like that 60-something range to 54 range. If anything, that looks a lot more like what the market is saying about ANET right now. Just gonna be honest. If you're gonna have some bounce up, if it's gonna, a little bit of a pull up from that, or pull back based upon where we're going, right? Oxy. I mean, I don't mind you asking the same stocks, guys and girls, but nothing changed. It just got worse. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Here's your analysis. It's on the screen. Cool. I don't know, Mira. No offense, but if it was you who asked this stock like 4 days ago, no, nothing changed. You know. Uh, 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 uh. 4 or 5, whatever it was. Why? Come on, I can. It can be. I ran through everything. Okay, I hope the boys and girls are managing the chat proper. All right. RH, please. Let's do RH. I don't think we've gone through this one any lately, but I mean, is it that surprising? It looks like everything else, guys. It's girls. It is inevitable. Although does appear that a little bit of a corrective movement may be in order here. No, nope. I take it back. Yeah, sure. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit of that corrective movement. Sure. You know what? I'm gonna give you that. Almost as large as I made it originally. Almost. A little bit shorter range, so cancel this. A little bit upwards. Maybe like, what is that? 200 and something. What is that? What is that? Based on that drop back into this channel, I would argue top of it like 200. It might take some time, but yeah, you may have some. Yeah, you may pull back up. It's not gonna be easy. In relative terms, it's not that great either. You know, it's like you gave away 40% and you're gonna gain back 5. That's probably gonna be unpleasant. All in all, like the rest of the market, it's poised to go far lower than higher. Clear divergence right here on the oversold territory. Stochastic RSI on the quarterly, half year, not looking great either. Your yearly, no data. And when it will start, it'll probably be somewhere from the top down, moving downwards, so like middle way, kind of like that. Oop. Or more like so, really. Eventually. Don't get too excited about this. This is forever and a bit away from now. Maybe. Again, maybe. It's not even a certainty that it will be. What is far more certain that it's going down. I warned everybody. I warned you all. It's going to be a hellscape. I said so many times, months, on end, again and again and again and again and again. People didn't want to listen. What do you want me to do now? SoFi Visa, right? I remember somebody asked for that one. I didn't do it last time, I think. So that's a good one. Whoever, Johnny, good job. And the market is at 5,389.7. Cool, good to know, good to know. The market just went tits up, basically. Sorry, wrong chart. Wrong chart. Correct chart. Why wrong chart? Correct chart. The market is currently looking like this. After market is looking like a dumpster fire. Again, I warned about this all in advance, so I don't know what to tell you. It's looking so bad that even now I'm surprised how quickly we got. Well, yeah, that what happens. That what happens. This is the reason why you don't rely on hope, but you rely on facts and how things really play out. SoFi, I warned you all about this. Why everybody's so surprised? Jesus, that's so much lower than what I gave it. My God. I gave it so much longer. I actually gave it the chance to get to the edge of the channel. Wow, how was so much nicer than what reality was with it. Yeah, It may be gonna have a bit of a correction based upon how low this and how rapid this movement was. I mean, I see I marked all sorts of crap right there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I see. So yeah, again, as my weird tendency goes, I stretched it outwards a little bit more, but I was saying, look, the direction of this will be downwards. Here it is. It's actually happening. Weird, right? I'm gonna X surprise. Oh, so surprised. See? That was that was worse than, I mean, that's worse. I really thought it will be, so that we'll be able to stretch it out along the channel, but this is just horrible. Let's see, weekly is picking up there a little bit. No, it's just getting worse. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just getting worse. Yeah, it's just getting worse. Yes, it's getting worse. And yeah, it's just getting worse. I couldn't have drawn this any better, right? You can see where it sits, right on that deteriorating momentum. So yeah, SoFi, I mean, what? If you're gonna correct it back to 12, good. If you're lucky. If you're really lucky, you're gonna correct back to 12. And then continue dropping. The direction is still upwards. And that's gonna be like if you're super lucky. In fact, I'd probably, if I were, I mean, if I would be still holding and get 1170 again, I'd probably be out. Sure, probably gonna correct 1061 within the context of this drop. Probably even if it's gonna drag a little bit more to around 10, 30, 40, whatever. Retest this. Even if it's gonna drop to 10, it is far more poised to retest 11. I'm gonna be so surprised if it's just gonna slide through without retesting some of these. And so yeah, if you ask my opinion, it will make sense. It will correct upwards a little bit. 1108 maybe there, 1170 if you're like stupid lucky, just crazy lucky, you know, just insanely lucky, right? That's what I forecast on SoFi in my humble opinion. But overall, it's gonna do very badly like the rest of the market. It's gonna drop. Even if there will be some form of retest here, it will just stop you at around 10ish, which makes sense. Retest, deteriorate back to the 3s and the 2s. I warned about all of this stuff over than a year ago. I told you guys all this stuff. If you do capitalize on the rally, whatever is going on, and I didn't even think it's going to happen so high simply because the Fed were supposed to make sense and not do anything dumb things, but by the guidance of the Democrats, they've done a lot of crazy things. And the market has done a lot of crazy things, and the retail done a lot of crazy things because they really bought into the story of, you know, to the moon. The greater fool theory always works, and so people ended up being screwed. Nothing good came out of this, and I told you, I warned you about all of this. I warned you the market is going to look like shit. Okay, what else? Visa. I think that just might be the last one. I think, let's see. We had a really tough week, boys and girls, I promise. I was working like for me's. So I'm a bit tired. I mean, the monthly immediately yells at me, this is bad, this is bad, this is horrible, this is just really bad. But before we jump to any conclusions, this is bad. The weekly is, it's bad, but I mean, though some of you are going to be like, oh, it's good. It's good within oversold territory. All it means is just you're not going to be, you know, it's like you're being, you know, shot at, but not with a bazooka, but only with a rifle. It's like, it's not that bad. Could be worse. Right, they could bring a tank, you know. So right now, although you're like, yeah, it can be worse, it's actually very bad. What also is going on here? I have no idea what's flying above my head right now, but I swear it sounds like a spaceship. Not even a rocket. It just sounds like a spaceship straight up. Straight up spaceship, yeah? Now, Visa on the short term may appear to be going even lower. So not that surprising. That's not that big. Then a little bit higher to roughly around where that SMA is. I'm not going to be surprised. Lower on the grand scheme of things, trying to break out of the channel. That's what you're doing right there. Restabilize at the center right there. It all points to the very same levels, roughly around 330 still. So not that far off from where we are at right now, all in all. This is looking bad, so based upon how this is starting to turn around, I would say be prepared to see 300-ish and then 300-ish area. Basically, let me just make it simpler for you. Get ready. It's coming. Get ready. People will stop spending, so people will spend less. Even if it's gonna go through this sort of process to do this, it appears to be that get ready to see 300 again. Of course, again, it may be because that pickup that we're seeing, because people will first start buying things on, using credit cards, but eventually when they have to start giving back, that's when the problems will start and start showing up on the reports, and the consumer strength will deteriorate, and subsequently just understanding that people will be spending less. You will see 300. That is, in my opinion, Plug. Nothing to say about Plug. Plug is just flat, like nothing. It's still around 126 support, and I've been buying. Actually, I have my position completely prepared, and so there's not much for me to do. Just kind of sit and wait. If we want to look at the technical analysis of it to be more objective. Although you're like, oh, Greg, it's down, right? And it can go even lower, which it's kind of sitting on the... Well, it's not. It is just a dumb drawing, so it has nothing to do with reality. But really what we are seeing is more so a retest. Let me try and show you. Of that 126, we've seen it before. No, that was in the short range, I'm a moron. Let me just remove all that. Besides the 126. Okay. Cool. Let me just show you that. Forgot where I was. See? We're very well aware of this 126. We were sort of retesting and retesting. Can bring me that far? Yeah. Yeah, it can. Well, anyway. We're very well aware of the support level, and so we're kind of retesting it right now. Not much to say other than we're probably going to see within... Oh, let me just show you. Within the following... I would say week or two, maybe. A little bit of a corrective movement. Back up, potentially to... Let me show you. Around here, which gives us around 140-ish area, kinda. That floor, that wonderful floor-ish area that we have there, kinda. Then, if everything is fine, we're gonna end up retesting 150. It's gonna move in tandem with energy. Again, you can kind of see how what we're doing is we're basically retesting that 50 level. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, we have here a 50 level, that's center. Cool, that's good enough. We are gonna be testing at the 50, and so subsequently going more flat, retesting that 126 area, although with slippage below, which means potentially retest, as we said, to the current highs, which would be the tops of the median and the top of the channel, then end up retesting to that 150-ish, now convergence around there. Then daily kind of in agreement with these, so nothing all that significant given some time. Of course, still very low, so again, some time. What I'm saying may take weeks. All the retest and retest and retest, currently still negative, so convergence, divergence around here. Since we're looking at the weekly, we're probably looking 3 weeks out. Finalizing, so again 3 weeks out. But here's the beauty. Here is the real trick. We've been preparing, we've been already hitting 0 for quite some time here, since, well, 0 actually for the last year. We've been on full convergence for a long time, and normally, even for a very long retest, when we have these pickups that appear like a tiny little wave, in reality, when it comes to price action, they're quite significant. I'm personally looking towards the area of 10, and of course, when it's going to start picking up, I'm going to be waiting and looking. But the real beauty of it is, of course, you don't have to look and read into this and say, oh, it's going to look exactly like this. No, we could be looking at an actual upwards wave such as this. No need for these. Okay, why? The cycle is the very different place. And if energy will rally, this will rally in tandem. And yeah. Why we're seeing this, why we're thinking this, because again, this process will come towards convergence, divergence here, and what may appear as something very tiny, because if you look at this and you understand the actual scale of this thing, right, you can understand what are we looking for. We're not looking to get 100 out of this, just to be clear. But that little bit that we might get on that corrective movement is going to be more than enough for me to capitalize on, even if it's going to take me half a year or even longer. All right, but that is me. Plug itself is still low, gonna be low for some time, and there's plenty of time to pick it up, and so that's why I was not in such a hurry to pick up more and more and more, because as you see, we're still gonna revisit the very same levels, and I'm already full to the brim. So currently, if you ask my opinion, not much to say other than sit and wait, hold tight, and follow energy. That is your, that's what you want. That's it. That is it about that one. No, boys and girls, that's it. I am done for today. My battery is running low. Everything else will be tomorrow. I am very running battery low. I'm sorry. Can go. Oh, so now we have demands plus absolute low price. It can go. My pleasure, boys and girls. I'm just very tired. No worries. I'm glad I was able to at least run through whatever I was able to run through. The rest will be tomorrow. Or in the Discord, of course. All of you guys know you can approach me on Discord, and especially the members who are already there. How to join Discord? First, you must join Patreon. Patreon will grant you access, a link, and all the beautiful stuff and the necessary roles. It's all automated, and all you have to do is join the Patreon, then go to my Discord, and then you will be greeted with this wonderful left click, right? Left click me, right? You can see that's how this channel is called, right? You see left click me, right? Join this channel, right? When you join this channel, you'll be greeted with all sorts of information, such as you're supposed to be using it as a separate app on your computer. The phone is very finicky and horrible, and Apple is extra horrible with Discord. Discord is more of a computer app. Do not use it through your browser. You're bottlenecking your browser with the Discord, and then your Discord with the browser. You can see I'm running a separate app. So obviously I recommend the same thing. I explain here that the server is 100% private. So if you're not a Patreon member, no point in trying to sign up. This is instructions on how you connect your accounts. So then it will open up and we'll let you into the actual Discord. And this is if you're a YouTube member, but don't be a Patreon member. Don't be a YouTube member. YouTube sucks when it comes to memberships and whatnot. And that's it. And once you're done with connecting your account, you will no longer see this channel. If you want to inquire about the One-on-One Academy, you go here. They need help or support, whichever. You open a support ticket by clicking this green button. It's very simple. And you write to me, and then we talk. We have a quick call, a bit of a Q&A, And if everything is right, you get a booked spot for later, because right now the academy is 1000% full. And yeah, that's it. We'll have probably several more spots available within the following week or so, or maybe a couple. But I highly recommend booking spots, because plenty of people book their spots in advance, and this way, well, when you wonder why it is that it takes me longer to have open spots, is because people are actually smart enough in advance to book their spots, and so they don't miss out. Join in, you'll be in the know, you'll join the smart money, you will know what is the smart money doing, because we are definitely the smart money. For the time being, boys and girls, you all have a wonderful evening. I'll see you in the community, on the Discord, on the next live, whichever one, or one of the meetings, and you all have a wonderful morning, evening, night, whatever you have, wherever you're at. See you, bye bye.